Hello, you wonderful people. I thought I would start today by talking about my favorite living artist. And I have to stipulate living because I have a lot of favorite artists who are dead. But Olivier Ledroit, born in France in 1969, is a comic book artist and illustrator, and his stuff is ridiculous. If you've never seen Olivier Ledroit's work, then yeah, you're missing out. His art is some of the most detailed and over the top stuff I've ever seen, certainly in a comic book. And we don't know very much about him compared to other. It's because he's French, and most of his content is French, and has eventually made it over into the States and become English. But it is amazing stuff, and I wanted to talk about three of his collections, three different productions. I'll go in reverse order, and these are just things that have English translations. So I'm not dealing with a lot of the French only stuff that he did earlier in his career. To the best of my knowledge, it's still not in English, but it might be. I don't. I would get it if I knew where to get it. Anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about each, but also give the blurb from Wikipedia, because everybody uses Wikipedia for their scholarly work, and this is going to be far from scholarly. All right. The first of Olivier's pieces that I'm going to look at is a large hardcover book called Wika. And I'll read the Wikipedia now. After narrowly escaping an uprising that claims the lives of her parents, Wika, the last of a royal line of fairies, must evade the assassins on her trail long enough to discover the secret of her lineage. Uncover Thomas Day's first comic book story, a dark tale of magic and mystery, with fairies, dwarves, goblins, and elves, in a stunning epic fantasy world brought to life by the beautiful illustrations of Olivier Ledroit. And that's it for that. Yeah. And I thought Wika was an amazing story. I really liked a lot of the characters. It's not as well known as some of the others, but moving on to something that's even less known, I think, is Fairy Universe. Ledroit really does love his fairies, and it's pretty clear. It's a beautifully illustrated book. It has a lot of snippets of content. It's like character portraits and brief ideas for storylines, all based around Ledroit's art, which is interesting. But the Wikipedia entry for Fairy Universe is: we are now certain fairies exist. The universe is made up of mysterious and elusive spirits, the elves and the fays. Once we accept this evidence, we still have to recognize them, approach them, and sometimes be wary of them. It took our illustrator and his dexterity to be able to approach them, sketch them, and give us this guide to the most remarkable fays and elves. And there you have it. Final thing I want to talk about, of course, is Requiem. Requiem Vampire Night is the English way of saying it. I'm going to just call him Requiem. Requiem had his unfolding story come out in Heavy Metal magazine from 2003 to 2012. It was produced annually, which seems awfully slow to me, but considering the art that goes into making a Requiem story, I can totally understand why it took so long. It was produced by Heavy Metal, as I said, and then for whatever reason, they stopped producing it. Yeah, Requiem has seen its share of what I like to call production hell, where the later storyline, the last part of the storyline, I think there's three sections or chapters left. And yeah, it's been years, and it'll probably continue to be years before we see more out of Requiem. Requiem won an award, a favorite European comic, an Eagle Award in 2007. But I don't see that Requiem it certainly has a following in America. I mean, they even developed a tabletop board game based on it, and yeah, there's a fair amount of content for this comic book series that it seems to me very few people know about. I've been in conversation with comic book experts who have never heard of Olivier Ledroit, or much less Requiem Vampire Night. And it's really a shame. But I mean, the books are available, for crying out loud. Even you might probably even be able to find all the heavy metals like I did. Anyway, the Wikipedia entry goes like this. 1944, the Eastern Front. Officer Heinrich Augsburg, a good soldier, an honorable man, lies dying in the snow. His last thoughts are of his true love, Rebecca. He awakes in the hell world of resurrection, which in my mind is hell, and is promptly and violently initiated into the ruling class of vampire knights. Now named Requiem, he must adapt to his new death style. Forget his old life, forget chivalry and honor, and instead embrace cruelty, immorality, and hedonism. But he discovers that Rebecca is not only here on Requiem, she is also his sworn enemy. Determined to reunite with his soulmate at any cost, Requiem finds himself at the heart of a conspiracy to bring down the House of Dracula, with the prospect of an extremely painful eternity if he makes one wrong move. Surrounded by enemies who plot his downfall, can Requiem keep his limbs intact and his heart from shuddering, or will resurrection annihilate him as he descends into glorious chaos? Start reading now and join Requiem on his violent, sexy, and savagely humorous journey as he discovers his dark past and his equally dark future. There you go. Requiem it's my favorite comic, and there's comparatively so little of it. But yeah, you should go out and get some. Support artists like Olivier Ledroit. He's the best there is. Anyways, this is Jomo Rising, signing off.